welcome to Kolkata, the city of joy and city of culture.
Thank you, sir.
So today it's all about fish.
Yes.
And if you could talk about your journey with fish keeping and this whole aquascaping, how did it all start?
I guess it was part of the family because my mother was in the hobby and it kind of got passed on to me. We always had dogs, cats, all kinds of pets at home and kind of got passed on to me as well. So I started at a very young age. I guess my first fish keeping experience was when I was about 7. And it's been a nice, fruitful, long journey.
And how did life IU come about?
See, I've been in this hobby for a very, very long time. When we started this hobby, there was very little exposure to the outside world markets and stuff like that. And we used to make everything here at home. We used to make the kind of food that the fish needed. And we used to, homework karte the. We used to research a lot, padhte the, and then we used to make those kind of foods. But then with the influx of, of course, as the world grew more connected with internet and this and that and influx of all these Chinese and other brands, people had forgotten this old system of giving the fish quality food. They depended on packet food and packet stuff, and which also, this is not a blame game, but people wanted it cheaper. Chinese companies made it cheaper, and the cheaper you make it, then you're compromising on the quality of the product. So at the end, aaj ke date mein, the fish, I feel sorry for the fish because they only get junk to eat. It's, ingredients like cassava pellet, which is sweet potato, maida, soya, which is nowhere connected to the fish or what it eats naturally. So that is when Life IU happened. So life was basically because we are responsible for the life of that fish, and our responsibility is to give that fish a lambi ayu. So Life IU.
Right. So going back to aquascaping, how do you see the present scenario in India right now?
Fantastic. I think India is in the best place it can be because one, of course, we are a cultural society. It doesn't matter where and which part of the country, we are bound by certain culture, we are bound by arts, we are bound by a lot of things. And aquarium hobby, aquascaping is a fantastic release to the amount of stress and the stuff that people go through today's age. So I see there is a huge market and there is a huge requirement for it as well. People should open their mind to the hobby, and they will realize that there is so much that they can get from it. Okay. I think, in my journey, I started off as a baker. Of course, we all did family business at one time, or we became a doctor or an engineer, and I didn't want to study. So I'm a 4th generation baker, restaurateur. Okay, today I make fish food. So I guess aquascaping ho, fish keeping ho, there is a lot of scope. And it gives you a chance to kind of express what's in your mind through that whole natural setting or aquascape or however you want to call it.
Regarding aquascaping, do you believe that there should be institutes where there will be proper training for this?
We have been trying to set up an institute. I know certain people who do workshops. We do workshops as well. We have these 1-day, 2-day workshops. We have a Calcutta firm called TC that has been trying. But see, ours is one of those, aquarium industry as such, sautela bacha hai. They don't even know ki ye bacha hai. So when we go and expect some support from the government, even if you want to start a school, because it's not easy. There's a lot of investment, there's a lot of, it's needed. What is needed, we are not able to handle.
So my question, I understand.
But it's required.
Because to create awareness among the young generation, so what's your way out?
I think it should be part of their curriculum in school.
Right.
See, I'll tell you why. This is not my feeling, it's a fact. A child with an aquarium at home learns more science than what their science books can teach them. Okay, he learns more different activities, co-curricular activities than any school can teach them. They learn more about caring, responsibility than anyone can teach them. Okay, let's look at an aquarium handles chemistry, botany, zoology, physics. Okay, these are the sciences. Then there's also the biology part of it because you're having plants and stuff like that. Then you have carpentry, electrical, plumbing, welding, electronics, all of this with the technology that we use for an aquarium. Then you learn to care for the fish. So sharing a responsibility आता है. So in a whole, that one aquarium itself it encompasses everything. It's not just one aquarium, your pet, your fish. That's the amazing part of it.
Right.
Yeah, so it should be part of school. It should be part of learning.
Right.
So I may have not learned science in school as much as I've learned from the aquarium.
Right.
Because it teaches you in a certain manner.
So regarding aquariums, there are myths and misconceptions. If you want to share some thoughts on that.
See, I mean, it's what you believe. See, some people believe that it's good for Vastu. If you believe it is good, see, our country is full of myths and misconceptions. So then, I mean, and the beauty of it is we are able to question it.
Right.
So I think it's each person's personal belief. It's how you want to believe. So I can't say this one is wrong or that one is right. Okay, but it's each person's belief.
And so the last question, I can feel that how passionate you are about fish. If I ask you one life lessons you have learned from fish keeping.
Oh, that's a big one. Too many. I think the most important one that I keep reminding myself is that nature is always right. Human intelligence is a human being's biggest enemy. See, what we do is we assume that we know everything. I think that's the stupidest thing we do. Because when you look at nature, when you observe nature, when you see these things, there's so much that it humbles you, it keeps you grounded. So I guess that's what I've learned. I keep learning every day. We learn something new, but this stays with me. I keep reminding myself that you are that minuscule part in nature which is not required. A human being is not needed here. I guess I believe that God intended humans to be on this earth to make it better. But we've sorry for my language, we've screwed it up. We made a mess. It hurts. It feels bad. So I guess, I'm not single-handedly, I can't change anything. But I'm going to make my own efforts in my own way. So I guess that's the learning.
I'm going to end this another important. You mentioned during a chat your association with Kolkata. You've come as a young kid here. Just some memories from Kolkata in childhood days.
Rasgulla. Winters में गुड़ का रसगुल्ला. Mutton biryani. Okay. Breakfast in Park Street.
Stories.
Okay. So these are collecting antiques on Park Street. I don't know, nowadays the shops are gone. Okay. I love antiques. I collected so much in Calcutta. So, of course, Durga Puja, the pendal hopping, lots of stuff. So, yeah. So I mean, there's lots. Mache jhol, kosha mansho. I'm a foodie bus. I love the food. I just love the food. And I love the fact that, Calcutta is... See, a Bengali person is one of the most inquisitive person I would ever meet in my life. Whether it's you or anyone. And the beauty of this culture is that you question everything. You look for a logic in it. In your mind, you've accepted, not a separate issue. But you want to... that is an amazing thing. Okay. And I believe we have, as South Indians and Bengalis, we have a strong connect because, like any Bengali family, you're expected to learn an art, you learn a musical instrument, you play a game or you play a sport, you read before you sleep. So we've got a lot in common. So I guess that's where the connect happens. So I kind of feel at home. Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful interaction, and we hope to see you more in the city.